Hey, everybody, it's Darrell with the weekly Back 40 broadcast, always bringing you a nugget or a nudge every Wednesday to support you in creating your second half as your best half. Today, I want to talk about edginess. Oh, by the way, before you leave today, make sure you grab your top 10 tips for a radical second half below. Sometimes I forget to say that. I want to talk about edginess, and that has multiple meanings, right? It's actually interesting that the more we get to the edge, there's more edginess coming out of us. But specifically around the back 40, and for those of us really committed to creating our second half as our best half and living by the back 40 mantra that you have yet to do what you came here to do, guess what? It's going to require getting on the edge. A few quotes I want to share today that I think really capture this. One is by Hunter Thompson. He said, "The edge, there is no honest way to explain it because the only people who really know where it is are the ones who have gone over." So, you can't really get the stories from the ones who've gone over. But, that whole idea of growth and taking on new things and new challenges. When we've gotten into our 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, there's so much compelling evidence and scars and bruises to tell us who we are or what's possible and what's not possible. And so getting to that edge and really getting to the extreme, what had me even think about this today was this idea of frustration. And, frustration is a good thing. We kind of, live like, okay, life should be good and easy and no problems. But guess what? Unless there's problems, unless there's frustration, like friction happening, guess what? We're not growing. That's why we go to the gym. Because, at the gym, you're really stretching and frustrating those muscles. And it's actually the scar tissue that actually builds the muscles and gives you strength. And so, we can take that as a metaphor for living. And so, when it comes to taking on new things, like maybe in the back 40, you've had this thing about relationships, right? And you would love to be in a wonderful relationship. And yet there's all this evidence and frustration, around, what relationship, how it works for you or how they are, how women are, how guys are. And so, we can easily keep ourselves in the play safe zone, by listening to that voice. So, and this applies to lots of things in life. In the second half of life, there might be this real interest in doing something different, maybe a different career, or maybe really going out on my own for the first time, or, and yet, the play safe, stay in the center, don't go to the edge, stay in the center is very compelling. So, here's the deal. If you're listening to this, I can only imagine that you're someone wanting to play, beyond what you've already done or what you've already delivered. And by the way, not diminishing anything that has been done. Cool. Our Back 40 community is chocked with people who've done amazing, amazing things. And yet they are inspired by the idea that they have yet to do what they came here to do. So I want to give you all a few tips today on how to embrace edginess. I want to throw one more quote out there, though. A lot of good quotes today. Kurt Vonnegut said, "I want to stand as close to the edge as I can." Hold on. "I want to stand as close to the edge as I can without going over. Out on the edge, you see all kinds of things you can't see from the center." So again, the center's going to be calling. And I think as we get, into our second half, it calls even stronger, and it seems more compelling and more convincing, and it seems true. And you know, those that are the 20-year-olds, the 30-year-olds creating new businesses, you know, new technologies, all of that, they're just playing. They're just playing. They don't have all of the stuff that we've amassed as to how we know the world is or know how we are. So for us to do what we came here to do, we want to refurbish our mind, our mindset. So one tip on embracing edginess is just to notice, hear the center speaking. You know, the center that wants to keep you away from the edge has a voice. And hearing it and starting to notice it and starting to realize, oh, you know, maybe that voice isn't me. Maybe that's, you know, some play safe mechanism that's, you know, trying to keep me safe. You know, I don't know how you were as a teen. You know, you might have been a good kid. You know, I think a lot of teens, I had one, I was one. They hear their parents saying, you know, you need to do this and you should do this and this would be good for you. And, you know, they don't actually be nice about it. They just kind of, and they go do what they want to do, right? So I think the one game we can start playing is hear the center speaking and kind of, you know, be respectful of it, because, you know, that little voice will come, you know, grab you if you don't honor it. But honoring it doesn't mean you have to do what it says. Maybe it's just thanking it. You know, thanks. Hey, you know, I hear that little voice and I know you want to keep me safe. And just realize that that voice is an old friend, and it's old. It's an old friend. And if you want to take on things that are new and become new, you want to be respectful to the old friends, but move on and play the new games with the new friends. That's why you want to join us here in the Back 40 community. If you haven't gotten your top 10 tips, if you're not getting our seeing our weekly blog posts, this is where you want to be associating with the new voice and the new friends. So thank you for sharing, and go be a teen. Go do what you want. You know, if you're out on a date and you have all these relationship stories about the way things are, you know, maybe take a risk and share something really intimate. You know, you're not going to die. You will not die, I promise. And when you go out on the edge like that, just amazing new things can happen. If you know, you're wanting to start a new career or a new business in your 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, you know, you could definitely be numbed by the voice that's telling you, stay safe, do what you're doing. Or you could take a risk, hire a coach. You know, that's a risk, to actually be open to hearing how something's possible outside of the way you have it. Okay. So first step is really start to distinguish the voice, the play safe voice that wants to keep you in the center. The second, and I've already kind of given you that one, but it's take a risk. Try it. Try something different. You know, I'm in the most awesome second half relationship, and God bless all of my previous relationships. And, you know, there were a lot of risks that we took. One of the things, whenever we started going out, it was this little game. And the game was, okay, every date we have, say the thing that you most don't want the other person to know. Right? The thing you most don't want them to know. So you got to go to the very bottom. You got to go to the darkest part of you and share that. And then on the next date, well, you told the darkest one, so then you're coming up, you know, you're working up every time. Point being is very risky. And yet at the same time, the rewards from that have been enormous, just enormous. So, you know, take the risk. Take a risk. You're not going to die. At a minimum, you're going to learn something. At a maximum ideal world, you're going to really expand. One thing for sure, you will not die. Okay. So first, remember, listen to the voice, hear the voice wanting to keep you in the center. Number two, take the risk. Go be a teen and do what you want to do anyhow and take the risk. And third, repeat. Do it again. So, maybe you did it once and, you told them something intimate and it really didn't work. You know what? It probably didn't work because they're so scared and they're so have their guards up that, they can't really even appreciate, that level of intimacy or something, right? That doesn't mean you don't try again. That doesn't mean you don't repeat the whole process. Because again, if we're going to create something in our second half that's beyond anything that's come before, and that our best is yet to come, we're going to have to be getting on the edge and staying on the edge. So repeat, hear the center speaking, take the risk anyhow, and repeat. Hopefully this gives you something you can look at in your own life. Something where you would like to, that's important to you, that you want to take to the brink for yourself. And, God bless on that. And, be sure, again, grab your top 10 tips for a radical second half below. Go to our website, theback40.com. Go to our blog. There's just lots and lots of supportive, what's new, what's next, getting on the edge voices there to support you. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you again here next week. Make it a radical week.